So from this wall, this is the rock wall that was there originally, after the road was put in. From here to the middle of the road was completely covered. Now they had put a large shoulder, because on I-40 they have many problems with rocks and things falling. I think they anticipated that. They put a huge shoulder. I would estimate it 30, 40 feet shoulder to the rock wall. Well, the slide has made it past the shoulder into the road. All right, that's the first slide. The second slide was this section and the section right behind it, and it actually crossed the road and finished here.
That was my question. So when that Jeep has been pushed out,
that's correct. They've actually taken something and
this
put a
one was
path
the
back
one
through.
before Christmas.
That's correct.
And the second one was.
I actually have a picture of this second area before the second slide. I have a picture of it before it happened.
but if I understood what we really don't know in that particular case is it was built to dot standards and it still failed, or if it were a privately cut road and not built to standard. We don't know the
We
answer.
do not know.
Right. And that's because what I thought I knew, evidently, is not what I knew.
Those standards aren't
But we just don't know.
Right.
It's not that
Yeah.
you might be wrong, it's that we just don't know.
And I'd like to think the land trust knows where their property is,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it sure looks like a DOT road to me.
On that next slide, it looks DOT.
Yeah. Well, and we took a flight with Matt Mason and Jack about a year or two ago, just to have a look at the state of the county with them, and I had pictures of Mountain Men under construction that very clearly had DOT, machines on it. So I'm not sure what the relationship is there. Again, my point was that we were offering this as a service for people to see what's going on there, because that's definitely not my field. And this is from the air. You can see. Josh said this is the first,
Correct.
and this is the second.
That's correct.
That's on the mountain because that's paved right there on the right.
Yes, and if you look at the top of the mountain, there's the dome.
Right, yeah, the dome is what I always look for.
That's state. That's the state. The state used their own.
Mr. Davis, beg your pardon.
Now this I didn't get from the air because I couldn't. The snow was coming in by the time my flight was going, and we were moving along. But this is further down.
This is above the second slide.
So it's this way.
Yes.
Okay, so it's in this
actually.
direction. This, you can see this line here, where this is breaking and sloughing over.
This hump is this curve right here.
Ah, okay.
So my Jeep is parked about here. I'm standing here taking pictures down. The problem with this slide is that you're seeing the road separate on the bottom side. So this is not the initial area that would cause slides normally. It's actually on the downslope side. And it's
What does that DOT sign say about them things?
Falling rocks.
South shoulder, maybe? Watch for slide.
Says watch for deer, huh?
That is
Deer
a
has.
Deer crossing.
Deer crossing.
And you can see how wide the road is normally. This is what that other section looked like. With a significant shoulder between the road and the rock wall and a two-lane road normally. But this, like again, this is the bottom side of the road, and it's starting to separate as well.
Now, Josh, you might not.
Okay.
Now, yeah.
This is actually on the way back down. This is nowhere near the blast site. This is just part of the road leading up to Onion Mountain. This is actually, as you're heading down, it's on the left-hand side. There is a private road here, and I believe...
That might be where Dennis is confused.
And it may be. And actually, I believe this is an access road for power lines. But the main Onion Mountain Road is up here. And this is all filled and has been vegetated by the road construction, and it is all starting to fade as well.
So this is a slide from Mill Creek golf community, and there's, again, not knowing all of the issues going on there, just pointing out here is a slope that's been matted to try and stabilize it under a structure, and here is an ongoing problem that I think is just under a structure, and they were trying to build a retaining wall. I'm not sure how, it looks like it keeps moving. Whatever they do to try and fix it, it's moving, and it keeps moving. So that was just another place that we were able to see quickly from the air. So, and there was another one, actually there was another area that I didn't get very good pictures of, that was an older slide, or it had been known to move in the past. It's actually next to the theater in that large area there. And there, according to Matt Mason, he had said that, Derek, I think you were there, didn't they say that they're meeting with engineers, they were meeting with engineers the very next week to just try and figure out what they could do, because it is quite large, that slide. Actually, you can see it from the road where it's breaking off in the back. So, so as Josh mentioned, just some of the things that we were seeing there. You know, we're seeing obviously a decrease in property values, and I asked the person that was on our board that I said happens to specialize in slope hazards, and he's a forensic structural engineer. Has photos that I didn't get in time tonight to show you, but on a case that he's working on in Cobb County, Georgia, near Atlanta, where a $1.8 million home, $2 million home was built on an area that had a series of retaining walls up to 40 feet. And the retaining walls were constructed correctly, but the slope was moving, and there was no analysis done, and the house is ripping in half, and it's not even finished. The developer's bankrupt, and what was surprising to me that I didn't understand until the day that we flew is that homeowners insurance doesn't cover this. And I get, you know, that's maybe a reflection on my age, but I thought, if that happened to me, you know, if I built my home in a place that I thought was safe, and something triggered, you know, somebody's actions triggered something like that, and I was forced out of my home, and I had no recourse, and what am I going to do, sue a bankrupt developer? I would be ruined financially. I own a 96 Ford F-150. That's all I own. And some dogs. So, you know, our family doesn't have resources to help us sue somebody, and there's no such thing as lawyers that take these on contingency basis, because they know there's not a lot of money to be won out of these. They take them for money up front. So that was really a surprise to me. I think also was mentioned in this meeting that you all might be able to help me. Emergency services had to send out letters to a community, to the wildflower, or to the areas around wildflower, or something to do with the area was unstable, and they had to send out a letter that said, I'm sorry, but it's a hazard, and I can't send people there and put them in danger for emergency services. And you all might know about that too. I don't have a copy of the letter. I think it was the Cowie Community Club was given this information that they.
Kenny, what's the guy's name that you mentioned that's doing something in Cobb County?
Forensic.
His name is Ed Haight. And I can help you get contact information.
Is it H-A-I-G-H too?
Yes. Yeah, I should spell that.
Also, I have a friend actually that I was traveling with Friday, and his property name was Peach Creek. Part of his driveway was destroyed. Basically, he got insurance, and because we were having this very conversation, he brought up some of these topics, and he said his understanding is that if there's like a mudslide, that's considered, that this is what his insurer told him. Now, getting the money may be a totally different story, but told him that would be considered flood damage.
If you're in a flood hazard area and you're in a county.
He's not in a flood hazard area.
It's not.
And he's not, so you're, so
That
he
was
wasn't.
part of the problem with Peaks Creek, is those areas,
They weren't mapped as flood.
they're not in a flood zone, but,
Right.
but the insurance company told them that was considered a flood event.
Yeah,
All
because
of the
his insurer told him, because that was his